You ever have one of those mornings where the air in the shop just smells like potential, like you haven't managed to screw anything up yet, the floor is actually swept, and for about 5 minutes, you feel like the smartest guy with a toolbox?
I give it 10 minutes before you drop a finished cabinet door or realize you measured from the one on the tape instead of the end. Enjoy the high while it lasts, Tiger.
Ouch! Accuracy hurts, Alex. But you're not wrong. I once spent 3 hours precision milling a piece of black walnut, only to realize I'd been reading my architectural scale upside down. I ended up with a very expensive, very beautiful toothpick.
Well, before you turn today's lumber into dental hygiene products, we've got a lot to cover. It's August 22nd, 2026, and the TigerDen Daily is looking at some serious power, some career shifts, and how to actually make your shop pay for itself.
Yeah, let's talk about the heavy hitters first. Milwaukee just dropped their 2026 pipeline lineup, and they brought out a 3/4 inch high torque impact wrench that basically wants to rip your arm off in a good way.
I saw the specs on that. Isn't there a point where cordless just becomes a liability? Like, are we reaching the limit of what a battery can actually do without exploding?
Don't tell the pneumatic guys, but the gap is closing fast. This thing has record breaking breakaway torque. It's for the folks working on structural steel or heavy equipment, the kind of bolts that have been rusted shut since the Nixon administration. You used to need a hose the size of a fire engine to move those. Now, you just click in a battery and let the tool do the screaming.
Speaking of things that make life easier, I'm looking at this DeWalt 20V palm nailer. Is it just me? Or does that seem like a luxury item? Can't you just, use a hammer?
Spoken like someone who has never tried to swing a hammer inside a floor joist space 4 inches wide. I once spent an afternoon trying to toenail a brace in a crawl space using a stubby hammer and a lot of colorful language. I hit my thumb so many times it looked like a ripe plum. A cordless palm nailer is basically a massage therapist for your ego when you're working in a phone booth.
Shift gears with me for a second. We're seeing a massive change in the automotive trades. It's not just about grease monkeys anymore. The report says defined career paths are now the #1 reason people are picking shops.
It's about time. For decades, the training in a lot of shops was just, here's a wrench, don't break anything, and if you have a question, ask Old Man Bill, who hasn't smiled since 1994.
Sounds like your first job.
Pretty much. But now, if a shop isn't offering at least 10 hours of training a quarter, they're basically a sinking ship. You've got tech that changes faster than my mood on a Monday morning. If you're a shop owner and you aren't laying out a roadmap from apprentice to master specialist, your best talent is going to walk across the street to the guy who will.
It's the talent war, right? But what about the folks who don't want to work for the man? The maker mogul side of things is shifting too.
This is where it gets interesting. Everyone thinks they need to land a $5,000 dining table commission to be a real woodworker. But the smart money in 2026 is in the small stuff, high volume, low waste.
So what? We're all just making charcuterie boards until the end of time?
Hey, don't knock the cheese boards, but think bigger, or smaller, I guess. Modular desk organizers, minimalist phone stands, things that fit in a USPS flat rate box. The secret isn't the item, it's the offcuts. I used to have a scrap bin overflowing with walnut and cherry slivers that were too good to throw away but too small to use. I was essentially hoarding firewood.
And now you're turning that firewood into rent money?
Exactly. If you can take a pile of leftovers and turn them into $20 impulse buys at a maker market, your lumber cost is effectively zero. That's how you actually get that fancy new Hilti laser without your spouse giving you the look.
I know that look. It usually follows a delivery from a freight truck. Okay, Tiger, give us something for the weekend. I've got a wall that's been bare for 6 months because I'm terrified of floating shelves. Everyone I see looks like it's about to dive bomb the floor.
The hidden mount is your best friend there. People try to use those cheap little bracket inserts from the big box stores, and then they wonder why their books are sliding off. You want a solid wood cleat bolted directly into the studs, and then you build the shelf as a hollow box that sleeves over it. It's structural, it's clean, and it makes you look like a wizard of gravity.
What about the drum modding mentioned in the blog? That feels niche.
It's precision work. Shortening a floor tom for a punchier sound is like surgery. You mess up the bearing edge by a hair, and that drum will never stay in tune again. It's the kind of project that reminds you to measure 5 times and cut once, and maybe hold your breath while the blade is spinning.
Well, whether you're performing surgery on a drum or just trying not to lose a thumb in a crawl space, we've got you covered.
Bottom line for today, don't get stuck in the way things used to be. Whether it's a tool that's got more power than your first car, or a career path that actually respects your brain, or just finding a way to make your scrap pile profitable, keep moving.
Stay gritty, stay creative.
And for heaven's sake, check your architectural scale before you cut the walnut.